All right, let's go to Warriors and Rockets. Game 7 in Houston. Steph Curry, Alperen Şengün getting ready. Rockets looking to become the 14th team to overcome a 3-1 series deficit. First quarter, Jimmy Butler, tough three, gets it. Warriors take the 3-point lead. A little later, Rockets down 4, Fred VanVleet air ball. Amen Thompson with the cleanup. Back and forth they went early on. Steph Curry did not have much of a half scoring-wise, but Buddy Hield stepping up. How about that dish from Curry? Flipping it blind back over his shoulder, and Buddy wasn't missing. It was his world in the first half. Last seconds of the quarter, see what I mean? From just inside half court, launch and hit. 40-something feet out. Buddy Hield puts the Warriors up 4 after 1. Warriors up 8 now. Draymond over to Hield. Hield hitting everything he sees. Steph not scoring in half one, but finding Hield. Nothing but net. Warriors open up a 14-point lead a little later. Butler to Hield. Up fake. Create a little space. Leave the fingers up. 6 threes in the half. Most in a first half in a Game 7 ever. Warriors up 14. And then Steph, who was scoreless to this point, finally scores in the last minute of the first half. Warriors up 12 at the break. Third quarter, Rockets trying to get back in this. Alperen Şengün to Amen Thompson. Rockets chipping away a little later. Şengün playing some bully ball. Can't get it to go, but what a flip in by Thompson. Rockets cut it to 7. Then Amen. Jabari Smith Jr. out there outside. Got it. It's a 3-point game, but just when the mojo is flowing Houston's way, Jimmy stepping up. Another tough corner 3. Warriors up 8 after 3 to the fourth quarter. Curry finally warms to the task. Puts it on the deck, gets it to go. You get a layup, and then you start to find your outside shot. Steph drills a triple. Warriors up by 13. And then Draymond back to Buddy. Hield hits another one. Warriors up by 10. Next possession. Curry again. Not settling for outside shots. Puts it on the floor. Warriors up by 12. But you loosen them up that way. Step back 3. Yeah, Steph fully engaged now. Next possession. Curry to Hield. Corner 3. Buddy had 33 in this game. Steph, 22, 10 boards, 7 assists, and the Warriors knock off the Rockets on Houston's home floor by 14. And as you can see, it's not new for Steve Kerr. Now 3-0 in Game 7s away from home. It's the most road wins in Game 7 by any head coach in league history. The Warriors now face the Timberwolves in the second round, while the Rockets go home empty-handed despite being the 2 seed.
All right, for more on this Game 7 win, Kendrick Perkins joins the show. And Perk, the Warriors, they really showed that championship DNA closing out this Game 7. What was the key for them in this game?
Well, I'll tell you what, that was an impressive series all across the board. You talk about a brawl for it all. But when you look at Golden State and people think of Golden State, they think of offense because you had the greatest shooter that God has ever created. And you think about the Splash Brothers, but they forget about the other side of the basketball and them what they do on the defensive side of things, which helped them win championships. They locked down when they want to, especially Steph Curry. Tonight was one of those nights where I'll go back to the last championship against the Boston Celtics where in the NBA Finals, he was sliding his feet, doing all the little things when he was struggling to score in that first half. That's leadership. And then all of a sudden, there was a ripple effect. We saw Pajemski. He was getting in there, getting dirty. We know what Draymond and Jimmy are going to bring to the table. All of a sudden, Buddy Hield comes up with a block. So, again, the defensive side of things was huge tonight for the Golden State Warriors, holding the Rockets to 89 points.
Yeah, for sure, the defensive side, but you mentioned a couple guys there, and Steph, who just had 3 at the half and finished with 22, and then Buddy going off in the first half. Perk, how big is that for this team moving forward? They've got the defense that you want right now, but offensively, when Buddy Hield is able to kind of pick up the pieces if Steph is having an off night.
Well, it's going to be huge, especially going against Minnesota, because everybody was wondering who's going to be that third guy to step up, for scoring-wise, right? We thought it was going to be Jonathan Kuminga, but they need to sit him down for the rest of the playoffs because mentally he's not there. But Buddy Hield tonight, especially in that first half, was huge for them. But that's what leadership does, right? It rubs off on guys. And so we're watching a guy play with confidence. We're watching a coach believe in them. Steph trusts him. Draymond Green trusts him. And I thought when you get that production from those role players like a Buddy Hield, I thought bringing in Kevon Looney tonight was huge for Golden State. Big minutes from him. We know he has that championship pedigree. It's going to be huge for them going down the line. They're going to need that because Steph and Jimmy, they're going to draw so much attention. You're going to need somebody to step up and take that pressure off of those guys offensively.
Definitely was Buddy Hield tonight with those 33 points. When you see him going down like that from the outside, everybody was looking confident out there. On the other side of the things, this Rockets team, they've got a great coach. They've got young talent. What do they need to look for moving forward?
They need a closer. And I tried to defend Jalen Green. I mean, look, I think his future is bright. It just don't need to be with the Rockets, right? And they have a lot of attractive pieces. If I'm the Rockets, I got to address the issue of shooting and a closer. And I'm going after Kevin Durant. I'll package up Jalen Green, Cam Whitmore, and Jabari Smith and some draft picks and go out and get KD. Not Giannis, but Kevin Durant. And you pair him alongside Amon Thompson, Şengün with Fred VanVleet. You keep Big Steven Adams, and now you rocking with something. They just didn't have enough offensive firepower tonight, especially when the Warriors locked in on Fred VanVleet, who had been, giving them that work over the last 3 games.
Let's talk some more NBA postseason. The Warriors, they beat the Rockets in Game 7, 103-89, 4 of the 5 lowest scoring games, and the Rockets were against the Warriors. Rockets head coach Ime Udoka addressing the media now. It's new on SportsCenter.
Missed shots, close range shots. I think 23 for 55 in the paint. A lot of really good looks there. Didn't get up that many threes, only 18 on the night, made 6 of them, so that's a low number for the threes that we had been generating. And then the zone that they ran got us a little stagnant. But when we did find the openings in the middle, missed the threes that would kick out or the close range shots. And so, as I said the other night, sometimes shots go in and it masks some things, and tonight stood out the other way.
I know it's kind of hard to look at this immediately after the season ends, but how do you view this season as a whole?
Some growth, some good, some bad. Obviously a poor ending. To play one of our worst games in the playoffs in Game 7. We had a few bad ones early and kind of corrected ourselves from there in a lot of ways on both sides of the ball. And then to come out a little bit flat tonight, obviously that's going to leave a sour taste in our mouth for sure. But you look at big picture, the growth that we made. We just said no moral victories and whatever. We could be much more consistent, but getting to the 2 seed and 50 whatever wins and the growth that guys have showed. Kind of have a blueprint for where we want to be and the standard on a year-to-year basis, but all that doesn't really matter when you go out with the chance to move on, obviously, and advance. And like I said, kind of laying an egg in our last game. It's going to sting for a minute.
All right, we've heard from the Rockets head coach. Let's hear from the Warriors. That's new on SportsCenter.
First of all, I want to congratulate Houston. What a series that was. They had a great season. A lot of good things ahead for that team. Ime did an amazing job. Really the whole rebuild over the last couple of years has been so impressive. And we were lucky to get out of this series. But much respect to the Rockets and their staff and their organization. They have a great team and they had a great season. Couldn't be more proud of our guys. That was an incredibly impressive display of resolve, discipline. The defense was fantastic. The ball security, kind of game plan discipline, followed to a T, and then multiple guys stepping up. Buddy Hield, I don't know what to say. I mean, that was really incredible watching him light it up in that first half especially, and then down the stretch as well. But I can't say enough about our guys, and what they were able to do in this series and to pull this thing out on the road in Game 7. Pretty impressive.
Steve, they cut a 15-point lead down to like 3. Jimmy gets that corner 3 out of a double team, and then he finds Draymond twice. And then it looks like maybe in the huddle between the 3rd and 4th, you guys make an adjustment to get Steph attacking the rim a little bit, and you got him free. What did you guys do there?
Well, it's always matchup based, and so if you can find an advantage with the personnel they have on the floor, then you try to get Steph in pick and roll with a particular player or two, and I think it just kind of played out that way. The way the game was going, they've done a great job of taking away the Steph Draymond pick and roll all series by putting Fred VanVleet on Draymond and putting their center on one of our wings, and so that was really a great strategic move for them. And I think in the fourth quarter, because of the matchups, we were able to get Draymond back in the pick and roll with Steph a couple of times. I thought Steph was brilliant tonight. I know he got off to a slow start shooting the ball, but the whole key to the game was taking care of the ball, and he managed the game beautifully. And it's just a matter of time before his shot goes in. But the reason we had the 11-point lead at half or whatever it was, 12, was because of the way Steph took care of the ball, got us into our offense, and settled the game down.
Let's go to the Eastern Conference semifinals. Game 1, Donovan Mitchell and the Cavs hosting the Pacers. And as good as the Cavs were this season, they were 1-3 against the Pacers in the regular season. Darius Garland, you see him on the sidelines with a toe. The Pacers, they started off strong in this one. That was a great block there from Aaron Nesmith, and he's going to finish it off pretty nicely on the other end as well. Pulls up, nails the triple. Take another look at this one. So clean, all ball. Gets perfect play on that one. They were up by 9, but then Mitchell, nice dish, and Jared Allen throws down the poster all over Miles Turner. So the Cavs down just 4 now, later in the third. Pacers up 9. Nesmith, catch and shoot 3 is good. They go up by 12. It's their largest lead of the game. But Donovan Mitchell and the Cavs, they wake up. 4 minutes left. Mitchell, emphatic slam. Cavs only down by 1, and next possession, more coming. Not Mitchell this time, he misses, but Evan Mobley there. Cleanup duty, puts it up and in. Cavs take the first lead of the game since early in the first quarter, up by 1. A minute later, they're up by 2. Mitchell trying to get a few more. He had 12 points in the third quarter alone. The Cavs take a 4-point lead. Then final seconds of the third, pump fake 3 for Miles Turner. The Pacers up by 2, entering the fourth. So back and forth we go. 8 minutes left in the game. Cavs down 2. Mitchell drives inside, scoops it in off the glass. The game is tied at 101 apiece. A minute later, Pacers down by 1. Tyrese Halliburton working. Step back 3 is good. They take a 2-point lead. The next Pacers possession, Andrew Nembhard. The sidestep deep 3. He's up by 5. Then 5 minutes left, same score. Donovan Mitchell trying to get him right back in it. High off the glass. He finished with 33, 8 straight game ones. He's had at least 30 points, passes MJ for the longest streak in playoff history. Next Pacers possession, Nembhard, another 3. He had a team-high 23 points with 5 of 6 from beyond the arc. Off the miss there, 3 minutes to go. Cavs were trying to make something happen, but Pascal Siakam finishes with 17 and 8. The Pacers go up 8, and then Halliburton, give me a little bit more. Steps through. He had 22 and 13. The Pacers win 121-112. Here's Halliburton.
They don't lose a ton, so they're going to respond. And so we got to be prepared for that going into game 2. But I thought we did a great job of weathering the storm when, that Cavalanche was on its way. And thought we did a great job of weathering that. And, once that happened, I felt confident in our group.
It's all right. This is nothing to freak out about. You know what I'm saying? Understanding that, it's a long game. They made a lot. They made some shots. And like I said, you got to come in and give them credit. To make shots on the road, game 1 set that tone. That's credit to them. But, never hang your head. Don't trip. Pretty much been the message the whole time. And understanding that, hey, we found some things that we can, better at, and we'll be better.
Speaking of those things they could be better at, take a look at this. The game was settled beyond the three-point line. Both teams, they took nearly 40 shots from beyond the arc, but it was much different results. The Pacers, they made 19, their second most in a playoff game in franchise history, while the Cavs made just 9, their fewest in any game this season.
Let's break it down with Kendrick. Hey, Perk, this shouldn't come as much of a shock. I mean, the Pacers beat the Cavs 3 out of 4 in the regular season. They were one of the best teams in the NBA the last 4 months of the season. So I guess the question now is, what do the Cavs need to do to beat the Pacers?
Well, one, they gotta trust themselves. And Kenny Atkinson was brought over, was hired because he said one thing in that meeting that caught the front office attention, that he was gonna unlock a different version of Evan Mobley. Well, this is the series to do it. Evan Mobley is the X factor. He played some good basketball on both ends of the floor tonight, but 13 shot attempts, especially with no Darius Garland, this is not the series for Ty Jerome. This is the series for Evan Mobley. This is the series for them to go small, create mismatches, get him on the low block, and damn sure this is not the series for Okoro. He couldn't hit the bull in the ass with an ironing board tonight. I got tired of watching him shoot three-point shots from the corner. Damn it, I started ducking in the house. I thought one of them was going to hit me in the head. Listen, if they're trying to win this series and take this Pacer team seriously, it's going to have to go through Evan Mobley. He is the X factor.
Mr. Okoro got the worst of that segment. Game 2, Tuesday in Cleveland, a game which all of a sudden takes on added urgency for the top seed in the East. Perk sharing some insight as the NBA postseason rolls on.